From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to beat the champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Beat the Champ. It's our final stay here, month-long stay at Central Lanes in Salamanca, and this is our Ladies' Championship, so only two of the three of us won't be bowling today. Are you ready to do double duty here today?
Yeah, I'm not sure which part I'm going to enjoy more. I think at this point I'm more comfortable with the talking. So a little bit about today. They're doing a little different. We're going to do a step ladder to our advantage, so I can talk a little bit longer. Four is going to bowl, number 4 qualifier will bowl number 3 qualifier, 3 will bowl 2, 2 will bowl 1. So first, the high qualifiers will be guaranteed first or second. There will be handicap involved, so have to figure that one out. And other than that, these lanes are going to be hooking a lot.
Well, you've got the advantage. You've been watching all, month here to see what's going on. We've got 8 ladies battling for a Central Lanes championship. I can't wait to see her out there.
I know, this will be so fun. It's always fun to see you do what you do because you're Hall of Fame pro bowler,
Absolutely.
Sue Novoitsky, so it's really exciting to do what you do best.
And I know she is ready because she can down and get a shot. The shoes are on.
Oh, the neon
green
laces
are ready to go. She is in bowling mode. We'll get to that after our first 2 matches. So a little color commentary from Sue and then some bowling. We're going to have some fun here. It's our Salamanca Central Lanes Bowling Championship for the ladies. Let's get rolling. Hey! All right, so here we go with our first match. It's Shauna and Joelle on the left, Tammy and Tracy on the right, and Shauna and Joelle will get us started in our Central Lanes Ladies Championship. And somebody's got to get us started. There we go. Everybody went and sat down like, wait, we need to get going here. So Joelle Plunkett will begin things now. Please explain the handicap to everybody because it's a rather sizable.
Yeah, this is definitely sizable. They're getting 62 pins versus Tammy and Tracy. So they're literally starting out with over 60 in the first frame, which in a 1-game match is
it's a lot.
It's a big number.
Yeah, so Tammy Offerbeck and Tracy Pierce will have their work cut out for them, if nothing else, just to overcome that 62 pin advantage. So Joelle looking to grab some more pins here on the second area. That's a nice spare to get things started for Joelle Plunkett.
See, and that's what it takes, is making a spare like that.
So the team with the big handicap advantage gets off to a good start. This is Tammy Offerbeck for her squad. Here and that's a strike for Tammy. And that's really the way you carve into that 62 pin advantage.
Okay, I call it even now.
Right.
Because she's not looking to go Brooklyn. That's a nice catch. It's a.
All right, you nervous?
Am I nervous?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay, good.
Not yet.
Just checking.
Not yet.
We need your focus. We need you locked in.
I'm going to be nervous.
On the bowling analyst hat for the first 2 matches.
I'm going to be nervous when I'm giving 100 pins handicap, yes.
And then you and Julie Sell can bowl away, because in this step ladder final, Sue and her partner Julie will be the final match. They're awaiting the winners to come to them. So
well, the difference is when you qualify, you qualify as individuals. So your score gets combined. So we're bowling full games. Mm-hmm. When you're bowling, and this goes for all of us, when you're bowling like this, you're bowling Baker. When you're bowling, when your 2 scores are being tied together, one may be bowling better than the other, and it will carry the other person. In this case, if one person's lined up and the other one isn't, you're done, because every other frame you're not really getting anything going. So
right.
It's a whole different animal when you're talking about Baker.
So there's some kind of strategy that comes into play in all this as well too, of kind of knowing how to work all of that.
Well, I can tell you inside track here what a strategy would be, and that is because we already know from being here all day that lane 7 is hooking more than lane 8. So the one thing for Julie and I is we throw it very, very different. Mm-hmm. I'm softer speed. I open it up more. She's more down and in with a lot of speed. So how do we want to play lane 7? Who do we want to put on lane 7? That will be the question.
So you could manipulate that a little bit with the strategy
Well,
of.
you always want
Right.
the person who has the most advantage, you know.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ.
Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks.
Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
So back over to the Shauna and Joelle team. This is Shauna Zimbardi.
So I give these, you gotta give these girls credit for coming out and bowling. That means, they really enjoy the sport and heard it was a handicap event and took advantage of it.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, they're all part of the leagues here at Central Lane, so they're bowling regularly. They're certainly enjoy the sport and enjoy what it brings to them, and you can see some real talent here. Particularly for some of the bowlers that are a little newer to the game are starting to show off a little bit.
Ooh, that's a 7 there. She's got a sleeper back there.
And Shauna will get at least one of them as they try to maintain the lead that they have with the handicap.
All right, so that's going to cut it down to about 30. So it's tightening up a little bit. We still have almost half a game to go.
Mm-hmm. Here's Joelle from right here in Salamanca. Good cheering section on hand. Mom, sister, niece, boyfriend, and friends here cheering on Joelle Plunkett.
So Joelle throws a backup ball. As you can see where she's playing on the lanes, she's more to the left, she's in the middle, kind of because of the lane condition, but her hand is actually turning towards the right wall. So as a right-hander, that would definitely be a backup ball because you would normally want to shake hands with the pins and have your hand turning towards the left wall, which is all well and good as long as
Shake hands with the pins. I'm just getting the visual of that, and that makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's that's what you really tell beginners is shake hands with the pins, and because a woman naturally, by the way we're built, like if we drop our hands to our sides, women's hands are going to face different than a man's hands. Like we're going to be closed up, so it's natural for a woman to throw a backup ball. It's harder for a woman. You really have to try to throw the ball, normal.
Wow, that again,
backup can be
little
normal, too.
nuances of men versus women in this sport. You'd think the basic routine would be the same, but that's really interesting. Would have never imagined that. Tammy Offerbeck bowling for her squad in the 7th frame. And she'll turn it over to her teammate Tracy Pierce.
Yep, we got 35 pins to the advantage of Joelle and Shauna with 3 frames to go.
So they really have cut about half of that handicap out.
Now, she moved in, she kept it in. That was a great shot and a great adjustment for a 175 average bowler. That was excellent.
Good job by Tracy Pierce. There's Janelle and the updated Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. Finally got to erase Chuck Jagodzinski's name off there after 2 straight weeks.
Nice spare. She's been excellent on her spares, too.
Yes. So speaking of Chuck Jagodzinski, we'll see him bowl in the first match next week's show when we move on to Lucky Lanes in Fredonia. A whole new set of 9 challengers to try to knock off Chuck and end his 5-match winning streak. That'll be on next week's show. Here's Shauna, and that didn't go the way she wanted it.
It's a little nerve-wracking, I'll tell you, with those lights shining in your face.
And everybody watching you.
Yeah, it's
including
just
everybody at
bowling
home.
as usual, but when you really have those lights on you, it kind of isn't.
And not a bad rescue there in the 7th frame. Or make that the 8th frame for Shauna and Joelle.
So now Well, this is getting a little closer. We're down to 22 pin difference, 22, 25, depending on how many pins she gets here, but we're closing that gap.
Oh, that's a nice strike for Joelle Plunkett.
That was a good place for it, too.
A 9th frame strike for Joelle Plunkett. So we'll see, is that a potential clincher for them to win this match? Tammy and Tracy have something to say about it first.
Oh, nice
And that's
shot.
a nice response back from Tammy Offerback.
Kind of a must-spare situation here for her. And she's in another backup ball, so this one's a tough spare.
And that one will slide off to the side.
You can tell by the way she lines up. It's still at the bottom of the swing. Her hand's is twisting to the right. That would be a real difficult spare for her.
All right, coming down the stretch here, we're headed to the 10th frame for both. This is Tracy Pierce. Oh, and that was a nice late fall to avoid a split.
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the pins, it doesn't look like they can now catch Joelle and Shauna.
So
they're going to move on.
That handicap advantage is going to be enough. So Shauna and Joelle will move on to match number 2, where 2 more ladies are waiting to see who's going to be crowned Central Lanes Ladies Champion. We're part of the Ladies Championship just underway here in Salamanca. Sue and I are back with our second match right after this. Well, Tammy and Tracy, the 62-pin handicap was a big hurdle to overcome, Tammy, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
How much harder, how much did that add to all the pressure that you were already feeling here?
Not really a lot. I'm just nervous.
This can be a little nerve-wracking, can't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Tracy, getting a chance to be a part of this tournament bowl on TV, how exciting was it?
Oh, always exciting.
Yeah.
I got to do it last year. Doing it again this year was great.
What is important to you about this sport, and particularly here at this place in Salamanca?
Oh, it's a lifestyle. We're here all the time.
Right.
I mean, it is my life. So.
Well, that's good, and nobody likes to hear that more than this guy, right?
Well, that's a great thing, yeah.
That's a nice compliment, isn't it, Paul?
And both of them support us tremendously. Every tournament we have, they're here, so it's a good thing. I'm glad they made the show, and obviously, the result would have been better, but somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. That's how it works.
That's right. All right. Well,
consolation prize, though, ladies. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
That's a good consolation prize. All right, ladies. Hopefully, we get you back here again next year. But we've got more bowling. It's match number 2, and it's coming up next on Beat the Champ. It's match number 2 as our winners, Shauna and Joelle, will take on our second-seeded team of Angela and Kathy. So a little difference on the handicap in this one. A lot less than it was in the first match that played a big role in Shauna and Joelle able to advance. This time the handicap is just 20.
Right.
So that's a lot more realistic. You can make that up in 2 frames.
Yeah, so their averages are a lot closer together.
Joelle Plunkett will start things off here. Nicely done. 9 pins on the first roll. Winner of this match moves on to take on the powerhouse squad of... What? You didn't want me to say that?
What?
If I'd have said something other than the powerhouse squad of Novoisky and Selk, what would you have responded?
What?
See, we're putting the pressure on you. You're the top-seeded squad for a reason, so... Yeah, we're going to lose Sue from the TV spot in our next match, and she'll be performing out on the lanes. We'll drag Paul Geiger in here to help handle that job. So.
Yeah, there was a few questions out there about bowling mic'd up, which I wouldn't have a problem with because I think I can control myself. But because I can't hear what you guys are saying, I feel like it would be interrupting what the
don't
flow
have
of what
you
you
don't
may
have
be
the
talking about.
Jagosinski like superhero hearing
I
where
know, I can still
he hears everything.
I'll just yell it out. If I have
Right,
something to tell you, I'll come over here and I'll tell you.
Yeah, we can whisper something about Chuck and he'll whip his head around. Angela Lonsberry with a strike in the first frame. Bowling, she wrote,
Yeah.
said Angela Lonsberry. This is her partner, Kathy Sarver. So they just have to make up that 20-pin handicap, and the strike in the first frame goes a long way towards making that happen. Oh, almost a double there. Good job by Kathy, who is right here in Salamanca. Long-time bowler and a regular here on Thursday and Friday nights at Central Lanes. Tracking for the spare. You think we got a good crowd here that's cheering on some of the locals?
Yeah, do you remember that story I told you about bowling in somebody's home house and then it ended up being the 4 people from Buffalo and everybody left? I feel like Julie and I are going to be a little outnumbered here.
I think you might be. Here's Shauna Zimbardi. And almost a strike there, too.
Oh, you and Janelle are going to have to yell really loud for us.
Well, you know, impartial. I must remain impartial. No rooting interest. Call it as I see it.
Oh, all
What,
right.
you were hoping for? So you were hoping that I'd be outwardly cheering for you?
No, but that list of excuses that I gave you, I want you to use it.
Okay,
You
well, that I
need
can
to.
do. That I can do. Oh, no! It would not go down. Oh, what a tough break for Shauna.
So I predict that we'll see a few of those for the rest of the day. I think that that's going to be, if you hit the pocket, that's a pretty common leave, that 10-pin. Playing as deep as you have to play. So I should probably in practice just shoot my 10s.
There you go. All those things you always talk about on this show, you're going to have to start following.
Oh, remember you asked me of whether I get nervous in it?
You're starting to get there, aren't you?
Little.
A little, huh?
Little.
Joelle Plunkett following up her teammate here in the third frame. And there's your early scoring on the Castellone scoreboard. Joelle as well, right here in Salamanca.
Wow, nice
That's a
try.
nice hit, too.
Very nice try. Okay, so they've got 57 in the third with their pins.
All right, here's the Lonsberry Sarver squad. This is Angela, resident of Ellicottville, but a longtime resident of Salamanca before that.
Throws it pretty good.
Yes, she does. 132 average for Angela Lonsberry.
Wow. You know how easily with that rotation she could get that average up?
So
Quite easily.
what makes you say that? What would be sort of the coaching point that would help her do that?
Well, she's got a lot of the fundamentals. Her hand position's in the right place. Her she looks pretty on target. She has great ball speed, and she's got great rotation on the ball. So at this point, you're going to teach her how to read lanes and have a couple balls to adjust to what's happening out there, and she needs a spare ball to make her spares. Something like that, you're going to add, by making spares, you're going to add 30 pins to her average just like that by giving her 3 spares a game.
All right, so when you talk about teaching someone how to read the lanes, what's the basics that go into that?
Well, you're just looking to see where your ball's hooking, like whether it's hooking in the front. You're mostly looking in the back of the lane. It might be a little complicated to start talking about the beginning and the middle, but if your ball's taking off, it's still going to be the simple adjustments from the as far back as time, where you're going to move left, move your eyes 2 and 1, 2 and 1, see what happens. So you're just going to help them with really the fundamentals of the game. And it'll take them a long way.
No, that's not
And
what
spare
Kathy
shooting
wanted. Right.
is a big
Well,
part of it.
shoot, we talk about that on the regular show all the time. Make your spares, strikes and spares, make all those spares, don't leave any opens, and you're going to wind up winning more than half the time, assuming you're not bowling up against Jagosinski or Zarcone. So now on that one for Shauna, it got a little bit left, missed the pocket to the left. Is that a simple adjustment of lining up more to the right? Is that an eyes adjustment? What is that?
It's eyes and shoulders. So if your shoulders are square to, like she's turned a little bit towards what she thinks she has to pull it, because she's used to seeing more oil. So she thinks that she has to get the ball going that way because that's what she's used to, but she doesn't because of the dry. She's got a lot, I mean, honestly, she's got a lot of potential also as far as just learning some things about the game that are going to help you make decisions to score.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I would do with anyone is put a spare ball in their hand, is put a plastic ball to make your spares, because the margin for error is
And that's generally a lot
significantly-
straighter shot,
Yeah.
obviously. You're not playing as much to the hook on that. And that's a very impressive strike for Joelle Plunkett.
This looks like a good time to take a break. We'll be back with more Beat the Champ right after this. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. You want to be square to your target. Keep in mind that you want to be square to your target and you want to draw a line to your target. So it'll give you a margin for error, especially in today's game. There's always going to be area.
Shauna Zimbardi on the Zimbardi Plunkett team, which gets the 20 pins as the handicap. Where are we at on the scores right now?
So they're doing very well. Right now they have 77 in the fourth with their 20 pins. So they, in the fourth frame, had a 23 advantage, but then there's an open in the sixth. So Joelle and Shauna are looking very good right now.
And that's a good spare
That's a
pickup in
great
the
spare.
sixth frame. And they were able to get a big handicap advantage in our first match and maintain it and keep the lead, never gave up the lead with, utilizing that big handicap advantage. Not as much of a handicap advantage for them, only 20 pins now, so a little more pressure to bowl well and make your shots, and they've already turned in a couple of spares and a strike.
Right, they're actually beating them scratch.
And that's Joelle Plunkett's second strike of the match.
That's awesome. Okay, now she's really making me nervous. No, no, they have a 37-pin lead now, so that's a pretty big lead with only 4 frames to go.
So that's the 20-pin handicap, plus they built a 17-pin advantage in the match.
Right.
All right, so the work to be done here for Angela.
Nice shot. Again, she throws it really good.
132 average, as I mentioned. 2 nights a week here, Tuesdays and Thursdays at Central Lane. High score of 227 for Angela. That's very impressive for her. Got a whole host of people cheering her on here today. We've got good turnout for all of these. Most of these ladies are local, except for you and Julie, basically. So we've got a good turnout here. And I know what you're a little worried about. These Salamancans will turn on you in the
Well,
next
we already,
match.
yeah, we know that there's a little home field advantage. I've seen it happen all day till Chuck took over. So we're gonna have to try to beat Chuck.
Yep, you guys are the invaders from the North Towns here to Salamanca. So Kathy Sarver has a lot of folks cheering her on. Her daughter here, her grandkids are here, her sister, friends as well.
Nice shot. Again, these are perfectly great shots on their lead condition, and kudos to them. They're out here under the lights on TV, throwing it really good. It's just that these lanes are definitely drier, and ladies never really ever have to move into third arrow or deeper than third arrow. It just never doesn't ever happen. So that's uncharted territory for a lot of people.
Now, that's a couple times that Kathy's tried to play that right side and pulled it a little bit into into the gutter, so that isn't going to help while Shauna and Joelle continue to bowl well here.
Yeah, this is where the format of being Baker kind of affects you, because no one can pick up your score. You're responsible for that every other frame.
Right. We have had some events where it's been kind of alternating shots before, have we not? Or does that happen very often? Not
As far as like you would take the
in
first
doubles
shot.
tournament. Yeah, like
That would be called Scotch doubles.
Scotch doubles.
Scotch doubles is when the other person finishes the frame for you.
Okay, so you can almost have like somebody that was making their spares in a position to.
Yeah, but
do
in
some
those
scoring.
tournaments, they tend to have you switch off. So I bowl.
Right, where you're not always second bowler up.
Actually, didn't you get my email on the Scotch doubles?
I did?
Yeah. Are
Is
you
that what
bowling?
that's going to be?
Yeah.
Well, even if I had got it, I didn't really know what you were talking about, but now I do.
Okay, so I'm running one of those.
I see you are, and I thank you for the
And
invitation.
the whole TV crew is going to come take your picture bowling.
Oh, yippee. I did okay on that one occasion that we went out there and
when you hit it with the
bowled on
golf club?
TV. Yeah, well, yeah, before that I
No, you
was
did,
acceptable.
You did.
Just, don't embarrass yourself, right?
You're saying that before
I
I
have a
have
low
to
bar. I
get
got a
up
low bar here on this show, so don't embarrass yourself is my bar, and just in general.
there. All right, is that your tip for me
That
to go when I go up there?
That is your tip. Do not embarrass yourself. Yes, because in most cases, if you have a bad game, a few people know. Now the entire Beat the Champ community will know. But I don't expect that, nor does anyone. We expect the highest level of performance from the Hall of Fame bowler that you are. How about that? Joelle Plunkett is bowling great today.
She is.
She has been outstanding. That's 2 strikes for her and a couple of spares, including that. Very nice. The look on her face told you she wasn't quite sure she was going to make that. So
Yeah, and that is going to seal it. They are going to win. They're quite handily ahead.
all right. So Shauna and Joelle will advance on to our championship match against this lady and her partner Julie Selk. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. We always love to watch you bowl. You are fantastic, and it's always fun to see you flip over to the other side here. So trust me, we'll be nice to you. Paul Geiger's your friend. He'll be nice to
All
you.
right.
So will I. So we know we've got a winning duo, and we've got a championship match all set. It'll be Sue and her partner Julie against Shauna and Joelle. We'll get you ready for that, and we'll talk to Angela and Kathy about this match when we return to Salamanca. More Beat the Champ. The Ladies Championship continues right after this. Well, Kathy and Angela, you kind of ran into a red-hot team, didn't you? But overall, Kathy, that was a nice job.
I just couldn't get it together at all. My partner did well, but I just couldn't get it together.
She's taking all the heat, isn't she?
Yeah, that's all right. Like I told her, we're here for the fun.
Well, was this fun? Did you guys have a good
I had
time?
a good time, yeah. I just wish I would have bowled better.
See, look-
I am a better bowler. It just didn't prove it tonight.
See, Paul, you've raised the bar amongst the bowlers. You're so high, they're lamenting the lack of performance.
Listen, last Saturday when she found out she made it, she was ecstatic. She just, I can't wait, I can't wait. Then the more she thought about it all week, she goes, oh no, all of a sudden I'm nervous.
I was nervous.
But it was good.
Yes, it was.
Thank you guys for supporting us. That's for you guys to split.
Thanks.
We appreciate it, okay? It was
All
a
right,
good
well,
time.
good job, ladies. It was good to see you on TV here. Hopefully we get you back again next year. Keep up the good bowling. Keep having fun with the sport. We've got our championship match. It is coming up next on Beat the Champ. Thank you, Kathy. Well, only in the sport of bowling can you go from color analyst on the first 2 matches to participating in the 3rd one, but that's what Sue Novoisky and her teammate Julie Selk will do in our championship match of the Central Lanes Ladies Championship. And Sue is going to lead us off here to get started in this match. It's Sue and Julie versus Shauna and Joelle. And there's a very big handicap at play in this one, as we've talked about in the other 2 matches. Sue or Shauna and Joelle in this case, are getting 116 pins. So that's a lot of work for Sue and Julie to overcome. And if we couldn't have our Hall of Fame bowler, if our Hall of Fame bowler was going to go bowl, it was time to bring in a Hall of Fame proprietor, and that is Paul Geiger here, the owner and proprietor of Central Lanes, provide a little color commentary for us here.
Well, thanks for having me, Paul.
It's we've had a great month here in Salamanca. It's been a lot of fun. We've had terrific bowling. Chuck Jagosinski put on a typical Chuck Jagosinski show, and the ladies have been great here.
This is fun. This is fun. It's between the qualifying and then watching them bowl here, it's just fun. This is a good atmosphere. It really is.
And I think the one thing that jumps out at me is, as we've talked to Tammy, Tracy, Angela, and Kathy on in between after they did not win, they just talked about how much they enjoy this, how much they love this place, how much this is part of the community, how much they love the sport.
Yeah, it's. I mean, everybody that you saw bowl earlier are big supporters of Central Lane, so it's a very good thing for Jackie and I.
Well, that's great, and you guys do a nice job in getting things going here and keeping them going in the right direction. So we're often going in our match here, and again, it's a big handicap to overcome, although Julie and Sue are incredible high-level bowlers, but that's a little daunting to roll right up into the first frame and see you're down 116.
It is, but I'll tell you what, Julie and Sue put a show on in qualifying. They both shot 700 for a 14.08 total, which, you know, I mean, that's when you're doing that, you've never been in the house. They bowled phenomenal.
And how about that strike for Shauna Zimbardi?
There's a good shot.
She, I think that's about the third or fourth strike in the last 5 or 6 frames that she's had.
She's loosened up a little bit, so that's a good thing. She's been bowling well lately.
How it sounds like the competition was pretty fierce to earn these spots in the championship today. It was.
I mean, like I said, Sue and Julie bowled really well, but then Kathy and Angela snuck in there with that 13-16 last Saturday. And then Shauna and Joelle bowled well last Saturday, and then Tammy and Tracy bowled Sunday when Sue and Julie did. So yeah, it was tight.
So one of the things we kind of noticed, you know, particularly of some of your locals down here, is you have a regular ladies league here on one night, and that's what they're a part of. Tell everybody about that a little bit.
Yeah, every Tuesday night we have there's a 4-person ladies league, and then Thursday night that's the wild night. That's a 4-person league too, but we got a full house that night, so they have fun. There's no doubt about it.
All right, here's Sue, and that's the Sue Novoisky that we're used to seeing and expect to see with her first strike.
She's ripping.
All right, now you can exhale a little bit, right?
She's ripping a rack with plastic. She's ripping a rack with plastic, Paul.
Yeah, that was going with the plastic ball here. A little unusual approach there for Sue.
Well, it's when the lanes are like. Especially the left lane she's bowling on. There's a early hook spot, and you can't get anything through it. So she's going with her spare ball. That's basically the answer to it.
Didn't we talk about that all day? How that lane was?
Yeah, well, we've been talking about the curse of lane 7, the very unlucky lane 7, pretty much for the last month. All right, this is Joelle looking to rescue a spare almost. Almost for her, so. Well, so how, you know, as we're getting a little bit towards the end of wrapping up your league years, give everybody a sense of how busy it's been, how much fun, what kind of year it's been here at Central Lanes.
It's been a good year. Scores are out of sight here lately, which is always a good thing for the bowlers. Happy bowlers, happy scores mean happy people. So they tend to stick around and eat and drink, and that's always a good thing.
How pretty full here for league play this year?
Yeah, absolutely. Monday nights it's a men's league. The Tuesday we have a double shift. Wednesday's just a fun league, and that's full. The Thursday women's are full. We have a really good doubles league on Friday night here, and tonight we have the couples league. So yeah, it's a good year.
Shauna Zimbardi grabbing as many pins as she can right there in the 4th frame. Remember, 116 pin handicap advantage to Shauna and Joelle that Sue and Julie are working hard to try to chip into.
That's a better shot. That's a better shot, yeah.
Those are the kind of shots they'll need more of to continue to chip into that. Of course, Julie Selk, an outstanding bowler. She comes from Lancaster, been bowling a long time at a very high level, bowls 4 nights a week. And we've seen her on various shows that we've had here on Beat the Champ before, and she is one of those first names you think of when you think of the great lady bowlers in Western New York.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime she bowls, you can expect a high score. She throws it well.
Sue is working a 205 average right now, bowling a couple of nights a week, Transit Lanes on Wednesday and Clarence on Mondays.
That's a good shot. Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute.
Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks.
Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
And that's a nice shot by Joelle. Boy, she is locked in. Yeah, Joelle doing a really nice job. Kind of maintaining about half that handicap edge at the moment, but a lot of strikes on the board by the Selk Novoisky team that have yet to pop on the scoreboard.
There you go. She got it. Nice.
There you go. Well done. And the Salamanca crowd letting them know it here.
Yes.
I think that was Sue's biggest concern was that they were gonna get the cat calls from the Salamanca crowd here. Shauna Zimbardi. How about
that? That's a good shot.
How's that for countering some strikes by the other team? With a couple of great back-to-back frames. So now, really, Sue and Julie almost have to strike out the rest of the way.
It's imperative.
Not to put too much pressure on Sue. She doesn't like that.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a tough break.
Terrible break. Yep. Good shot. That ball just checked a little earlier than the last one, and it's enough, and it's a terrible break, like I said.
You know, we talked a lot with a lot of your Salamanca guys about, you know, places can be a little quirky with the wood lanes. How much of an advantage did you feel like those guys had coming into this month of competition?
Oh, those guys had a huge advantage. They're here all the time. They know the characteristics of the place. I mean, and each lane is different. You know, that's how it is. But you know, it's a challenge. That's why a lot of people like bowling here.
And I think to some degree that tells you how good a guy like Chuck Jagosinski is, that didn't stop him, and he was able to negate the advantages of a guy like Jim McGarrett.
Absolutely. And like I said, Chuck doesn't beat himself. Mm-hmm. That's his biggest friend.
All right, let's watch Sue Novoisky. Critical spot here in the 9th frame. Nice spare pickup.
Good spare.
Nice spare pickup by Sue Novoisky. All right, kind of a chance to put it away here a little bit for Shauna and Joelle. You know, actually, on the lanes, Sue and Julie have had the advantage, but that handicap of 116 playing a huge role. Yeah, look at the pin action there that gets Joelle 9.
Here's the huge role, Paul. Joelle averages 113 in league, and I would have to say in these 3 games she's probably only missed 3, maybe 4 times at the most. So I mean, that's huge. That's tough to beat. It is, and it's a credit to her. I mean, she's bowling great. The TV lights aren't bothering her a bit.
No. Did some of your coaching and sort of the learning experiences here at Central help her get to this point?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, they just kind of do what they do, and they're bowling well. Now, Shauna's been bowling well lately. She's only averaging 141, I think it was, but she's been popping 500s and 540s. So I mean, it's capable there for sure, you know. But Joelle's the wild card today.
And she's been terrific. So we're into the 10th frame here for the Shauna and Joelle squad, as you can see on the Castellone scoreboard. And because of that big handicap, they have got themselves a nice advantage at the moment. And it looks pretty good for them to claim themselves a championship. But you want to finish strong.
She made that spare.
Nice. Well done. So the fill ball to close things out here in the 10th frame for the Zimbardi Plunkett squad. Shauna from Little Valley, Joelle from Salamanca, both of them right from the area and having fun with a good cheering section on hand. So the final score goes up with the handicap. It's a 254 for Shauna and Joelle. Julie Selk will finish things out here in the 10th frame. And then we'll get Sue to analyze her own performance coming up. That you have to interview. Yes, you have to interview yourself. I think even better than that, we're going to let Sue interview Shauna and Joelle and ask them how they did it. So there we go. It's a 254 to 182 victory for Shauna and Joelle in our Central Lanes Championship. We'll come back and talk to everybody and wrap up our month-long stay here in Salamanca when we return. More Beat the Champ right after this. Shauna and Joelle are our winners of our Central Lanes Ladies Championship. Congratulations, ladies. You guys put on a nice show. Take me through what this was all like for you. You had to bowl the 3 matches. You had to bowl against these 2 really great bowlers. What was it like?
It's crazy. Never expected it.
You didn't think this was going to happen, huh?
No, it was a joke. That's all. Ask him.
What was it?
Actually, they had no idea what they were getting into.
No.
No idea at all.
Like, we'll do it for fun. And here we are.
I wanted to bowl in a tournament for fun, and I told Shauna I'd pay for her ticket if she bowled with me. And here we are.
Well, and here you are. Here you are, the winners. Joelle, you only been bowling for 2 years. You looked great out there. What is it that got you into this sport?
Got to shout out my coach, Jordan Zimbardi.
Okay, do it. Absolutely.
And it's basically me and 3 friends can hang out once a
Thursday
week.
night.
Yep.
You can't beat that, right?
No.
You can't beat
Really
that.
can't.
All right, Sue, please analyze what happened to the squad over there.
I want to embellish on that and say that that is the same for us. Even though our averages are what they are, we bowl our team events and we bowl league so that the 4 of us can hang out together and have a night that we know we're going to be there and spend that time. So it doesn't change for whatever your average is. It's all the same. And right, Jules? Yes. My teammate here. But that's the great thing about bowling is it brings us all together, and that's what it's supposed to be about, community and being social and I think this whole thing was the best lesson in that.
Well, there you go.
Heck yes.
And it doesn't hurt when Shauna and Joelle can call themselves champions. There you go. You're allowed to pump your fists a little bit. Paul, make them feel like champions.
There we go, ladies. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, how about that? The happiest bowlers in town right here. Congratulations. We had a lot of fun today. Sue and I will come back and wrap it up when we return to Salamanca. Well, what a way to wrap up a month-long stay here in Salamanca. How much fun was that for you to be putting up the scores for Sue?
No, that was really fun, and it was fun to see all this like friends and community behind the winners, Joelle and Shauna. So it was really fun to see this big group of people just behind all these girls and cheering them on.
Yeah, it was. You guys weren't not getting a lot of the cheers from this crowd, were you?
No, but they were very hospitable. It was fine, and you know, it is what it is when you come out and bowl a tournament. A handicap tournament. It was actually more fun to watch these girls bowl and have such a great time. And at the end of the day, we're all proponents of bowling and just want people to enjoy themselves. So I wish I could say that. The big thing was not to embarrass myself.
You
and
did not.
it was,
You
no,
were far
it was
from
all right.
that.
It was all right.
So this wraps up our month-long stay here in Salamanca. We move the whole traveling road show to Fredonia starting next week, where Chuck Jagosinski comes in on that 5-match winning streak. If he keeps bowling the way he bowled here, it's going to be tough to stop.
Oh, absolutely. We know that Chuck's going to come ready to bowl with the right equipment and, you know, hopefully the right perspective.
Yep. Chuck's gonna be in the right mindset. I'm pretty sure he'll be there. We'll see what the challengers down in Fredonia have ready for him. You'll find out along with all of us when you tune in for next week's edition of Beat the Champ.